Hello, and welcome back to the Social Biz Breakdown, where we talk about all things social media and social media management. Today, I want to talk about building your social media management toolkit. So, what are the essential software and apps and tools that a lot of social media managers use? We're going to talk about a lot of things: content creation, analytics, hashtags, all that kind of stuff, things that you can be using in your business that make sense. We're going to cover it all. These are very broad, but I wanted to make sure that you understand that there are many different tools that you can be using. So let's go ahead and jump in. Like a carpenter's toolkit, for example, a social media manager needs their own set of tools to really build and maintain an online presence. However, so instead of hammers and nails for your carpenter, we're actually going to be talking about softwares and apps and websites and everything else that comes into that. So let's go ahead and jump in. So when it comes to visuals, right? So that's what social media is a lot of. You have Instagram, people are looking at photos, visuals, content, everything like that. What are your graphics? When it comes to visual content creation, the easiest one that I would say that a lot of social media managers use would be Canva. Again, there are a lot of them out there. A lot of people are using Adobe or maybe something similar to that. And if you're familiar with those products, softwares, features, great, use them. But Canva is a very good beginner's tool. It's a great way to create those eye-catching graphics. But if you're not a graphic designer, you can still make it look very appealing to people who are scrolling through the social media feeds. And Canva has a ton of templates and really easy to use tools for creating those really professional looking visuals. So if you are new to the social media game, if you're wanting to start an agency, a business, freelance, check out Canva if you haven't already. I know there are a lot of others out there that are similar to Canva. They've been coming out, but Canva is definitely top of the game. They're out there. They're making waves. So check out Canva for that visual content creation piece. The other one that I want to talk about, or the next step, would be analytics. So there are so many things that you can be using for analytics. There are free tools, there are paid tools. But when it comes to analytics and being a social media manager, those two almost go hand in hand. You want to make sure that you're reading those, that you're looking at those. And one platform that I love is Sprout Social. Yes, Sprout Social is a paid platform. You have to pay for it to use it, but they are fantastic when it comes to analytics, when it comes to reports, everything like that. They really break it down. And as a social media manager or someone who's trying to build their social media, it is a great tool to look at to make sure that you're hitting the mark, that you are making sure that your campaigns are doing what you need them to do, and that you're really making sure that you are being successful in your social media campaigns. Like I mentioned, there are free ones out there. You could be using Meta Business Suite and looking at their analytics. On the Instagram app, the native app, you could be looking at the analytics on there. Just make sure that you have a way to track your stats, your engagement rates, your audience demographics, and really help you strategize by viewing those analytics. So you want to make sure that you're using some sort of tool, some sort of software that is tracking that information. Next, let's talk about hashtags. So I get this question a lot from my students in the Social Biz Breakdown, asking how do I know what hashtags to use? What am I adding for keywords? And keywords is big as well. That'll be a different episode. But what I really like, and I've come across this a lot, is obviously just using Instagram, searching for a hashtag that you want to use, making sure that you try to find one that's under 1 million uses, which sometimes is hard nowadays. But the other one that's really good is Hashtagify. I always say it wrong, or I feel like I say it wrong, but you can just Google hashtag research, or is it Hashtagify? See, this sounds awful that I don't know it, but you get the idea. There are some out there that you can really be using. But what this system does is it actually searches for popular hashtags related to your content, to your industry, to your niche, to really boost your reach. What I do is I search in there for certain ones. If I pick out a few that I really like, and then I look for them on Instagram to make sure that they are going to hit the mark and that they're not used a lot. And then I'll use those. But it's a great way to really push you forward, make sure that you're getting those hashtags in there, those keywords, and hitting the right audience. Another great software or tool that you can be using, or that I highly recommend using for team collaboration, project management, stuff like that, is Asana. I like Asana. I also love ClickUp. I also love Trello. So if you've taken my course, or if you're in my group, I talk about Trello and ClickUp a lot, but I love Asana as well. They're all great. You want some sort of management tool so you can be keeping track of what you need to be doing, when it needs to be done, what your deadlines are, everything like that. It's a great tool for delegating tasks if you had a team, setting those deadlines, communicating all in one place. All of those tools are great. Again, Trello is free unless you're using some crazy automations, which they have those. ClickUp can also be free unless you're using crazy automations, as well as Asana. So it really just depends on what you want to use. Again, there are so much more than the three that I mentioned. There's Monday.com, Evernote, Basecamp. There are so many. So you just need to pick one that will really help you, keep track of what you need to do day to day. So next one I want to talk about is content curation. This is hard for some people. They might not know, what to post, what to talk about, what's trending. There are features out there, there are services out there that'll help you with that. In my course, I talk about how to make sure you stay out of that content creation rut and ideas to help you with that. But if you are getting stuck, there is a platform called Feedly. So Feedly is used to curates articles and blogs from trusted resources in your industry, and then they share them with followers. So it's a great way to see like what other people are talking about within your niche, what other people are mentioning in your industry, and then growing from there. So if you've never looked at it, I'd highly recommend going and taking a peek at it. It is a great resource. I use it from time to time if I'm stuck, I don't know what to talk about. So go check that out. Another one that I get asked about a lot is, hey, Kelsey, how do you edit videos or do stuff like that? So I do a lot of my video editing just like natively in Instagram. I do that. I have used CapCut. I enjoy CapCut. The other one that I like using is InShot. Those are becoming increasingly popular. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you don't like editing videos, look for some sort of video editing software that you can help your clients with, or your own social media, to create those reels, create those stories, those TikTok videos, whatever you need to, because I know that editing can be a very daunting task and not a lot of people like them. But InShot and CapCut, they have a very user-friendly interface and like various editing features and templates that you can be using. So check that out. Next, let's talk about influencer marketing. Where engagement rates are, how can you find collaborators? Once you get working with a client, sometimes they'll ask you about that. You'll find that maybe, hey, is there someone I can collaborate with? Is there something that I can be doing to push the needle? So if you've never heard of Sumo, I highly recommend going out there and taking a look at that. I'm not going to talk too much about that, just because if you go out there, you'll be able to see everything on their website, but go check that out. It's a great place to find influential users in your niche and really analyze their engagement rates, so you can make sure that you're choosing the right people to collaborate with. If you wanted to do a partnership, or your client wanted to do a partnership, it's a great resource. The last one I want to talk about is just note taking, which I know sounds, silly, but it's huge, you guys. Whenever I'm on a discovery call, whenever I'm on a monthly call with one of my clients, at the end of that call, I have a page full of notes. So you want to make sure that you have a good app or a good tool used to capture those notes. So a good one is Evernote. You can be constantly brainstorming, jotting down ideas when you're talking with your client, and keep them all organized in one place. It's great because you can access it via multiple devices, so you always have them no matter where you are. Me personally, I just use my OneNote on my computer. I'm a Microsoft user, so I use OneNote. You can use the Apple version. Whatever you're doing, just make sure that you have some sort of note-taking system that you can be using to capture those notes when you're talking to your clients. So the other one, there's many more I want to talk about, but let's also talk about scheduling softwares. So when you are a social media manager, you want to make sure that you have some sort of scheduler that you're using, whether that's Meta Business Suite, Buffer, Loomly, Sprout Social, HubSpot. You get the idea. There are so many out there that you can be using. So make sure that you have one so you can be scheduling your content in advance. That way you don't have to worry about it. Everything's set there, set in stone, and you're good to go. So those are the ones that I wanted to cover today. You can definitely check out the show notes. I'll have more information in there. Check out the corresponding blog that will have all the information as well. So if you want to read through it, you could definitely look at that as well. Just make sure that you have tools in place when you have those clients to make sure that you are successful. You have a very good toolkit so you are ready to go. So these are the essential software and apps for your social media manager toolkit, and it will really help you elevate your online presence and reach new heights with your clients. So again, check out those show notes, check out that blog, and I'll see you in the next episode.